Hello, everybody. This is Living with the Darkness, the New Hope. Today we have a scene where Broker is going to the county freehold. Now, the county freehold is a jazz club in the human side, the gray world side. And in the other side, it is a different type of place where it is, a very big freehold actually. The broker was allowed to enter the freehold from a back door, and he is now in the entrance of this. It's not a castle, but it's like a small settlement. The guard is there. It's a troll with a lion head. Its body is blue. The head is just a bit weird. And he has like this paper in his hand, and he's looking at Broker. Hello?
Hello there, sir. He'll bow to the figure. I believe you met this figure once at a drinking contest.
It was in the. Actually, no. This is not the the old guy. Like, this is not the Flaming Falcon dude. But
Okay.
He looks at Broker. Mr. Edenworks, if I am correct.
Yes, sir.
You are indeed to be here today. I am actually your guide. Well, he puts the paper, and he like whistles. It's Jeremy. Jeremy, it's not your turn. Front door. Yeah. Another guy, a Chloricon, comes to the door, and like this troll opens up a bottle of water for himself, and he says, "I am told that I should take you to the near the newly prisoned Puka."
Yes, that is the person I must speak to this evening.
It's going to be take a bit long for us to go there, just so you know, sir.
Understandable.
He nods and like and starts leading the way. They actually take a trod and enter the dreaming. Dreaming is, as always, colorful, quite nice. It's a bit of a foresty area. They are not leaving the silver path, of course. But at a distance, he sees a hut. A very slow hut, very like a small hut. And basically the around the hut, there's like a one guard. This troll looks at the guard and says, like, "We came here to take over. I will wait here so you can go back." The guards talk and nod at each other, and then this troll turns to Broker. "Mr. Edenswork, um, the room inside is cursed, as in, she can't leave a room. She's there to be forgotten." "I have heard that you said that maybe please hold me down if I hit her. Was that a joke at the phone, or should we really like be there with you?" inside.
Was he referencing that I was going to kneecap her?
Yeah, he's like, are you really gonna kneecap her or no?
Because I'm going to hold her down here. That means literally shoot her in the knees.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but no, I'm not actually going to do that. That would be a problem. That was a joke.
Ah, my apologies, sir. But please, he opens the door. I will be outside. I will leave you to your own investigation.
Yeah, well, thank you. Have a pleasant evening.
You too. You enter to this hut. Hut is small, and Holly is there. She is sitting on a seat. There's a couch as well, but she's not sitting at the couch. There's no TV, there's nothing to read. And she kind of gives a look to Broker. She gets up. This puka is a cocoa puka. Her mannerisms are very feminine, extremely feminine. She puts her hands to each other, like her fingers are in each other. Mr. Edenworks, I was not expecting to see you.
Well, to be fair, neither was I, but, well, I still have an investigation to do.
Oh, you were here for your own investigation that we talked about once.
Mm-hmm.
By all means, ask me all the questions you want to ask.
I was going to accuse you of being dishonest with me, but that's kind of a given.
Dishonesty? You were accuse a Puka of dishonesty?
Yes, that was the implication. Yes.
How rude of me. Would you like to drink?
No, thank you. I'm quite accounted for this evening.
Would you like to sit?
I think I will.
She also sits back.
He's interested in how accommodating she's being.
She is being very nice, but she was also being very nice to you when you first met. The rumors you heard was about how she was able to manipulate a lot of people by just being nice. Because she now stays in a dreaming. That is a problem because guess what? Dreaming makes you mad after some time.
Oh yeah, she's really. I was just kind of considering that she stays. If she's just kept here for too long, she's just going to enter bedlam.
Yep. Her punishment is to be forgotten. Dreaming is going to slowly make her mad. It's a cruel punishment to be left in a dreaming. It's going to slowly make her mad and mad and mad more, and she won't be able to leave this room. Unless someone, saves her.
Hmm.
So, how is your finances are going? Financial situation.
Very well. Not helped by recent affairs, but very well.
It must be sucks. It must be very bad for you that the Jersey is keeping all the stuff for themselves and sharing with the Trade Federation.
Situation is what it is. Ultimately, one pushes through. So, one minute. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
So you were working with a goblin then?
Me working with the Goblin Town, you mean?
No, I got a goblin.
A goblin. What is a goblin?
He just kind of regales her with a fairly how to say, just sort of unflattering silence. It is in that sort of that's meant to convey a sort of disdain, a sort of really, we're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not interested in playing this dumb game, sort of thing.
You seem to not interested in playing games.
Well, no, as it turns out, I have a job to do.
You're being extremely cruel. I'm all alone here. I don't have a lot of visitors.
And whose fault is that?
Not mine at all. What did I do?
Mm-hmm.
You're one of those people who benefits from the way things are, aren't you?
I'm an arms dealer. Effectively, put bluntly. I wouldn't say I benefit from the way things are. Had
Well,
you continued, I would have likely benefited immensely.
I agree. Why wouldn't you let me continue?
Well, regardless of the fact that I wasn't actually involved in your apprehending, there are things I do value above simple coin and dross.
Please don't tell me it's honor.
Broker seems amused but doesn't actually give an answer.
I wish to say I actually am. Being honest when I say which goblin you're talking about. She puts a cherry in her mouth.
The one who gave you the technology of disrupting Goblin Town.
Oh, that. Now I remember. Or do I? She acts like she's thinking. Mr. Edenworks, you must have. You should not believe all the rumors you hear.
Oh, and why shouldn't I?
Because it's strange how people just thinks one way. The it is sad how people are trying to take over commoner values. I am a commoner. I was never a noble. It did bug me the way these deers try to stole values of commoners. Wouldn't you agree? You said that you are a man of, you value other things. Do you value the commoner values?
What relevance does this have?
It may or may not have any relevance. That depends on your answer.
It's a very black and white mindset being presented before me. The implication that commoner and noble values are somehow segregate and that we are not individuals is a rather grating and, well, ironically, quite feudal notion. But you still haven't answered my question.
What would I earn out of this deal, out of this ordeal, if I start to answer your questions a bit more with less lies?
What have you got to lose at this stage, I think, is a more accurate question. I'll be blunt. I don't require this information. I can accrue it directly if I need to.
Through whom?
Now, why would I divulge that information?
That's true.
But needless to say, I can sidestep you in this whole process.
Sidestep? And she feels like she looks like she doesn't understand what you mean.
Accrue the information without consulting you. As I said, I'm not required to be here.
I will
have
tell
other
you.
meetings.
I will tell you what you know, what you need to know, or what you would prefer to know. I just ask one thing in return. I want a couple books that I can read. It is boring here to stay here 24/7.
Broker considers this. He also considers what one can do with a book.
Depending on an art, you can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
You can even poison someone with a book with Autumn Tree.
Yeah, they could poison someone, could turn it into a weapon. Hmm. Could maybe even pull off some weird knickknacks with Wayfair, but that's neither here nor there.
I would very enjoy the new Game of Thrones book if it come out yet. That old man takes a lot of time to write those books.
Hmm. He hasn't released his new book yet.
Shame.
I may or may not have a word with the guard, but I promise nothing.
Then I promise no answer. She smiles. It is the
Ultimately, it's not within my purview to give such permissions, particularly when taking into consideration your punishment.
maybe you can promise that you will try your best as a silly individual. It's just the one book.
Holly, I'm a businessman. I'm not going to tricked into forming some ad hoc contract with you. Come on. I literally do this for a living.
I mean, you can put all you want to this arrangement. It's not ad hoc if you know what is going on. Fine, it was me who did it.
Well, I know that much. I could have assumed that. I'm much more interested in the individual you got the technology from.
The goblin, like you said.
And their name?
I think his name was Andrew when I met him. I don't know what his name is now.
Can I empathy that real quick?
Please do.
Um, how much dice do I have to this? I think I got 5. Double check. No, only 4. I'm not very good at this. No fail. Worst interrogator.
You are doing, like, I think you as a character are doing it well when you write things up, but not very good at, like, seeing through lies. Holly seems to be a very, very good liar as well.
Yeah, that is also true.
And she says, Goblin, of course, wasn't sanctioned. He was happy when he gave me this. Because, of course, Goblin Town, knockers and goblins. But one thing, Mr. Broker. The old one will return. And when it returns, and if it asks me, what do you think about the Broker Eden Works? I will reply that the Eden Works did not bring me the book that I wanted.
Broker simply opens his hands and clasps them together, almost like an alternative to shrugging. We are all judged, are we not?
I don't know. I prefer not being judged. I mean, I was raised by Gwydians, actually. An old lord who took me as a lord. And was saying the judgment is only for the she and the lords of the Mesne. I don't think you are a lord of lord of any Demesne.
No, I control no domain. Simply own a few businesses is all.
Shame.
Although I suppose that could be considered owning a domain in a sense.
True. Anything else you want to know regarding this goblin? Or anything else I can tell you?
I'm quite interested in knowing who you work for.
Baylor himself. The old one will return and take vengeance.
And who else do you know who works for Baylor?
Sadly, I had a friend, a red cap friend. He was captured. I know of Islua, who died when she tried to run away.
Kind of a risk of prison breaks, to be honest.
It is, but I'm sure they killed her because she knew too much. Like I know too much, but they just don't know I know things.
So you know so much you'll be killed for it, yet you don't want anybody to know what you know. It seems rather contradictory.
I would say this way. I think my Sulu friend died because she was saying she knew too much. And those things can hurt her. There are things happening in this county that only few people know, and if no more people know them, there will be a lot of actions taken for those things. I think they think I know, if they knew I know those, I think I would be dead already. I can tell you one of them if you want to. She smiles very nicely. Like, I know why Jersey stopped sharing its resources with Manhattan.
And why is that?
Because someone killed the heir in Jersey, the Count's son.
Isn't that the official story, though? At least from Jersey's side.
Do you know who killed him? She like puts that like cherry to her mouth right after she says that. Do you know who killed him?
I believe that's a matter of some debate, but please, indulge me.
She stops. Wouldn't you like to know?
Hmm.
If it's honorable, would it be honorable to tell who killed the Lord of Jersey? Who killed it? Wouldn't your Sealy honor force you to say that, or it wouldn't? Roll me with sympathy.
Yeah, sure. Okay, it's one success. I mean, she's obviously trying to trick him again. Because if he says yes, then he can probably then she could if she has that one. Because the thing is, Broker's being so cautious because he doesn't actually know what Holly can do arts wise. But if she possesses the power of contracts to a significant degree, anything he says could be weaponized against him and effectively allow her to manipulate him from a distance.
That's basically what she was trying to do.
Hmm.
And you kind of see that, but you also see something else. Broker writes everything down and everything, that is going on. Problem with what Holly is trying to do is extremely obvious because again, you wrote everything down. Everything she does is to create conflict for some reason. She did create conflict when she killed a bunch of Unseelie, and the Seelie and Unseelie went to burn each other. Now you realize when she put that thing on into Goblin Town, it created a conflict between Goblin Town and the Trade Federation. If you tell what she tells you to the Lord, there's going to be huge repercussions. She was going to try to trick you, to force you to tell the Lord and to have more war. Because if, a Lord hears who his son is killed, you would expect that guy to be given to him.
Yeah. You very much seem to thrive off of the nature of conflict, even here. To an extent, I must say I'm oppressed. There's not much here to get into conflict over.
What did give me away?
Not necessarily what you're giving away, rather that it's just natural for me to be cautious around someone whose capabilities I'm not entirely aware of. Why take the risk? Why 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 make a gesture when there is the chance, the risk that it may be weaponized against you? After all, you have quite the reputation now, he says semi-sarcastically, as a punishment is to not have one.
She says, yeah, my punishment is all about the reputation.
Needless to say, your guilt has caused you to become recognized for weaponizing people against each other.
I just told people what they need to know, and they decided their actions. That's not my problem.
I mean, you killed people.
I didn't kill anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I gave an order, and the other person accepted my gold. The sheet says, don't kill other changelings. It doesn't say don't order anyone to kill. Don't pay anyone to make your murders for you.
It's a cute loophole, but that's not how it works in the autumn world, and well, for nothing else, they seem to have adapted in some modicum of a fashion. Conspiracy is still conspiracy.
I heard about a conspiracy in Goblin Town as well. Knockers dying when they move to Trade Federation.
He kind of looks at her. His eyes are somewhat flat. He doesn't take it too seriously. Ultimately, anything she says here must be taken with a grain of salt. She's not a reliable source. Oh, and who dropped that tabloid bomb to you?
What was his name? Donnie. Such a nice guy.
But Broker looks a bit taken aback as he just says, why would the person who runs Goblin Town say that people who are switching over are being killed? Other than as a very brazen pseudo threat.
Maybe he tries to show how tough he is.
We knockers are forward people.
Mr. Broker, you are a forward people. That's not the reputation I heard about House of Leo. She's like eyeing him quite, but she's staring at him.
Yeah, Broker looks nonplussed. It's the second time he's heard that accusation. And what causes you to believe that Donnie is a member of House O'Neill?
Because I'm gonna not lie to you. Because anything I hear about Bronx is how people say that that commoners are being oppressed. That the Demivand is a problematic guy. Hollis Mason, the headmaster of the Trade Federation, is weird. I met these people. I don't like them. I think they're silly idiots. But they're not selfish. They try their best for the people around them. It was very hard for me to make sure there's a conflict. Because they were so focused on making Bronx better. Now, do you know in like the Bronx, every noble pays a tax, while Manhattan it doesn't? Do you know like in Bronx, the people like are allowed to join like Vesta's Blessing every month? Vesta's Blessing OOC is Summer 4, which is like replenishes your willpower and it replenishes your willpower and glamour. The people in Bronx does work a lot for their people. People in Manhattan doesn't work that much. Now, everywhere I go, I see the alleles manipulation regarding Bronx. Therefore, it made my job it easy to see and to convince others that the House Allele is trying their best to make Bronx a worse place than it is. And the Gwydians is leading this round. High King is a Gwydian. Of course, they're going to have the best stuff in the trade. This is their show, after all. It was Donnie who said they want our weapons. They want everything that we own. It was Donnie who said it was blah, blah, blah. You know, the Trade Federation is coming. They're going to make everything bad. They're tyrants. And everyone went behind Donnie. And of course, I had some Allele people who was working with me who told me the same. So yes, Donnie is actually from House Allele.
I was sort of figuring that you would have had someone. Well, I was figuring you would have been working with House O'Neill, given that they're a majority on Sealy House and seem to have similar goals on the whole to yourself.
They have different goals, not the same goals. We had someone who was done with House Allele, but he got found out and he got killed. He actually orchestrated that whole Jersey and Manhattan problem. Good old Sir Janice. Roll me perception alertness.
Well, 2 successes.
When you killed Ragnar, you entered the courtroom. Everyone was getting questioned. So does Ryder. And the Ryder was called Orange Shoe Ryder, who was getting raised and educated by Sir Janice.
Yeah. Wait, Ryder's getting raised by Sir Janice?
Yeah, Ryder was getting raised by Sir Janice.
Mm.
She continues. They killed Janice when they found out what he was doing.
Who killed Janice?
I have no idea. No one told me.
But why would House Leal decide to isolate Manhattan? Manhattan is an unseelie majority county. Or barony, sorry. You'll say barony.
It wasn't the allele. It was Sir Janice who was done with allele. Janice thought allele becoming too much of a pussy, by his words. So he decided it would be a good idea to cause more problems between alleles and Gwydians, so the old one can return and restore the balance. But got killed, and well, you guys stopped us now. Old one is not returning, probably.
There's always next summer.
We will try the next summer then.
I don't think I have anything more to ask you. But I do appreciate your honesty.
Thank you. How would you deal with loss? Now the old one isn't coming. You guys stopped us. How would you deal with that loss?
I don't know if there's much I could say that would help you in your position, to be honest.
Roll me manipulation, pardon, perception empathy again.
Yeah, because I think she's trying to pull the thing again. Because I would say, I would do this, and it's like, sealed. Okay, I get 4 successes. I get 3 10s and a 9. I'm good.
Alright. She's trying to manipulate you into thinking that they failed. It seems she's convinced that they're not.
Okay.
But it's so fucking subtle. Like, you got it because of your tens. I didn't roll for her because if I did, I wanted to give this to you.
Because my empathy's so bad.
Like you barely realize. Like, wait, like.
Wait. Quick question, actually, because it is relevant. Would this interview be being recorded in any way?
Pardon?
Would this interview be being would this interview be recorded in any way?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. That's fair enough. Ultimately, though, I doubt I'd give up. And I don't think you have.
She smiles, but doesn't say anything. It was nice to talk to you, Mr. Broker.
Likewise.
If you're going to kill the goblin, say hi from me.
I regret not getting to know you better.
Ooh, we can get to know each other right now here if you want to.
Appreciated, but I believe I must go.
It was a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure. I wish you well. And you will go. Having been kind of excruciatingly careful with his words this entire time, because Christ, messing with someone who's angry and has contracts is pretty terrifying.
The while you're like on your back home, her attitude was just so fucking confident for some reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a word with the guard about how she was pressing too hard on that particular front, just so I can say, here's what I here's what I gain that may concern your barony about this person, just so if shit does go down, he can't be blamed. But yeah.
I will inform the count. I will inform the count about this.
It wouldn't surprise me if she still has allies or operatives on the outside making moves to some extent. She was pressing far too hard for her own defeat.
Thank you, Mr. Redenworks.
Anytime, and I appreciate having the opportunity for an interrogation of that woman at all. She did request and try to she did request books in exchange for information. I've promised nothing, but again, it is worth informing you and the rest of the barony that anyone who does speak with her, she is attempting to manipulate into forming spontaneous contracts with her. At least that's what I believe. Well, actually, that's not entirely fair. She more or less admitted it to me after I figured her out a few times.
Mm-hmm.
So she's
Thank
not
you a lot.
particularly safe to talk to.
To be honest, the Countess was surprised that someone wants to talk to her. Her punishment was to be forgotten, but it seems her actions are causing her to be not forgotten so easily.
It ties into my investigation regarding events in Goblin Town. I have ascertained that she was in fact responsible for the disruption there, so I shall be delivering that information to my barony.
Okay. It was nice to see you again, Mr. Broker.
Likewise. And good evening again, sir. He'll bow.
Good evening. Where is he going now?
Who do we talk to about this first? Because Donnie seems really untrustworthy right now. What house was Longwalk again? He's an Allo, isn't he?
Darwan.
He's Darwan. Oh, he's Darwan.
If you want, we can end the scene here. and
Um,
decide what you want to do.
yeah, I think because it concerns the sanctity of a freehold, Baron's not Allel, is she?
Baron is an allele.
She is an allele.
Baroness.
Fuck.
Baroness is an allele, yes.
Problem. Okay. Alright, then I think you will approach Longwalk first regarding the issue.
Let me put his photo. And basically, the you go to the hotel and basically inform the issue who looks after the hotel that you wish to speak with the long walk, Sir Iogahan. After a bit waiting, Iogahan is like, if, welcomes you to his freehold. You know, the Continental is like one of the biggest freeholds there. It's a huge place to be, around, rich, and the most nobles of the place sticks around. And he does welcome Broker to this workshop that he had, basically working room that he has. And he gets up, and then Broker enters. Mr. Edenworks, it is a pleasure to see you again. As he approaches and extends a hand.
Uh, what's this guy's title again?
He's a knight.
Okay. Good evening, Sir Longwalk. I hope I'm not interrupting you this evening.
No, it's been a long time since we talked. Please, what would you like to drink?
I'll take a shandy on the rocks, please. And thank you.
He tells us issue. He's an issue himself anyway, and he tells another issue to bring a lot of food and drinks, and he sits to his behind of a working desk, and he motions for you to sit as well. How is Goblin Town? I'm still sorry that the things are going different with the Jersey.
It's very interesting, to say the least.
Leaders don't tell me stuff, so I don't know what really happened in Jersey, but I hear rumors.
Well, speaking of rumors, I had a very interesting conversation just about half an hour ago with a certain someone who is to be forgotten.
I don't know why people chose that punishment. I said maybe she should have just died. She killed 3 unseelie.
I'm actually quite curious. Who suggested the punishment?
Terry and a guy named Nazrek.
Curious, but ultimately valuable towards our ends, I think.
I think she should have been sovereign the fuck out and basically tell everything she knows, but it's just too honorable, it seems.
Well, ultimately, I think it worked out in the end, at least. Well, I suppose if sovereign was used, some very interesting facts would have come to light. She's claiming to know things that would cause a great deal of conflict if they were come to light, one of which is the Jersey issue.
Surprising. I have to say this quite, forwardly. I am a knight under our baroness, but at the same time, I'm kind of my own man. I dabble in the shit that I care and I want. I said I want to open a freehold in this place, and I kind of have the best freehold in the fucking, in the Manhattan anyway. It's a place where people can, deal, Sealy on Sealy. I'm from House Derwan. This is a cauldron house. People get to socialize here. So this is kind of what I do. You understand what I mean? I try to make sure everything gets socialized. So I hear things time to time, and I learn stuff, but I don't just go outside and do what Baroness tell me to do all the time.
Hmm. Well, I'm very much glad an individual is representing us at court.
The Baroness has the two knights that he has. One of them is Sir Ryan. He's an autumn she. He dabbles around and, basically he keeps it together. And there's Sir Justin Troll, and Sir Justin is a squire called Sir Squire Ryder. He had another knight, but I don't know what the fuck happened to him.
For Janice. To be honest, I'm not sure whether I should even divulge what that person told me, considering she has a very vested interest in intensifying conflict everywhere she goes and whatever she says.
Sir Janice was a legend. He was a Leal known as a blackguard. He was like, those knights who are like the Gwydians has Flaming Falcon and the Leals has the Gwydians has Red Branch Knights and now they have Flaming Falcon. The Leals has these dragons of the court of the Silver Dragon or something like that. It was one of those. He's like excels in like dishonorable combat. They say they get shit done. I had a huge respect for him, but I don't know what happened to him as well.
Well, the worst part about all of this is that she tried to trick me into forming a contract with her so that I'd blurt it out. So again, I'm not sure if I'm really willing to state it, if only because it will cause yet more conflict, it will cause more of a mess.
Mr. Edenmerks, if you want things to remain here, it will remain here.
I would.
I hate most Gwydians. There's only one Gwydian I saw that worth my time. And that's actually Day Myers, I can tell you who that is. She's in Brooklyn. She is a one piece of art. But other than that, I don't bear love for many Gwydians. I don't like the Flaming Falcon, and I don't like how they tell me how should I live my life.
Take it with a grain of salt, but she's claiming it was actually the Allele that killed Sir Janice.
Weird. They didn't even hold a wake for Sir Janice.
Pardon, what did you say? Oh, they didn't hold a wake for him.
Yeah.
Well, she claims that he left the Allele, thought they'd grown too soft, wanted to assist in more directly bringing back the old one, and in order to assist in that fashion, killed the heir of Jersey's count. But frankly, I don't really know how legitimate her words are. She tried many times to trick me, so...
That is a juicy gossip that would cause a lot of problems for Manhattan, if that's true. And I agree that if that would happen, the Leals would take care of him. I'm not going to lie to you. When you become a noble, there's a lot of shit going on. Sometimes you do a mistake, and some people says we should take care of this person.
Yes. She's also claiming Donnie's an Allele as well. Not the first person I've heard that accusation from either.
Now, that's interesting. I understand that you would probably feel extremely uncomfortable with that, as the Goblin Town has his own way of ruling things. And if Donnie is indeed a Allele, that's a huge problem.
Goblin Town was created on the premise of self-determination effectively neutrality, to be free from the to effectively be, to at least some extent, because we're all tied to it in some capacity, from politics and class division. That it was simply a place where skilled crafters and businessmen do business, not to serve as a political weapon. If that premise is a lie, that would shake the very foundation of Goblin Town to its core. Everything that most people there stand for would be betrayed. The very legacy of the Freehold would be tainted.
These are problematic words.
Hmm.
And I understand what you mean. And I agree. I may be a house member, but I am a commoner myself, from a commoner kid. She already took one thing from Ishu. When they first arrived, I would be mad. When I says like I would be mad, you kind of see that there's this like bit inner stopped rage there. And you also see empathy, that he does show empathy to you and what you say.
Yay, he's not psychotic. That is helpful that he's not psychotic. We have too many of those. Right is enough.
I am loyal to the Baroness. I have to be, as a knight under her.
Of course.
But it does not mean I am loyal to House Eliel. I respect the Unseelie house that is known as Eliel. I know that they lead us. It doesn't mean they don't make mistakes. But this put Goblin Town in a problematic situation.
I don't know just how poorly the Freehold, or the residents of the Freehold, would react to such a revelation, if it were to be revealed and proven, of course. Ultimately, the sources making these accusations have their own reasons for doing so. One, of course, is certain members of the Trade Federation that obviously were never well inclined towards Sonny to begin with, and the other is a convicted criminal. Not exactly people whose word is to be taken at face value, but the fact that it's coming from separate and largely segregated sources that aren't on good terms with each other, that are separate from each other, does raise some concerns. I am hoping it is false. I don't want this to be true. I'd rather Goblin Town be the safe, yes, the safe harbor that it proclaims to be. If it's not, well, then it is a problem. I doubt many knockers would be happy with it. If it was nothing more than a power grab, well, our Kip is fairly direct. If we feel particularly slighted or betrayed, that's going to end very poorly for those involved. It could even have possible spillover. It can splash into Greater Manhattan, other counties. I don't really know. At that point, it would just be, well, it's a powder keg going off. It's difficult to predict. But I would imagine a lot of the anger will be directed towards Alil and Donnie in particular for the deceit. The Trade Federation may try to capitalize on it, which may only make the issue worse. So if the issue were to arise, it would need to be dealt with swiftly.
I would say that for stopping any bloodshed, informing the Countess would be very nice. Countess is a Fiona. She rules these lands because his husband is sick. It is true about the Count. The Count is sick. He doesn't go out, but I can tell you this very easily. His grasp is felt. I am a man, as I have said, I follow my own rules. I was being naughty a bit, and I felt his grasp as well. He is trusting his wife to do his job. Some may say he's weak, but I don't think he is. And I don't think he or his wife wants problems. Now,
Sorry.
maybe we can do something with you. I'm not happy with Gwydians most of the time. But this does brings a bit of an ability for us to maneuver things. We have been agreeing for a long time that you sport me, I sport you type of thing happened in business, your business.
It's appreciated.
Before Donnie, there was someone in Goblin Town, a noble in Goblin Town that basically represents the kingdom in Goblin Town. Hears the words and goes to the counts. If Donnie is overthrown, there will be new leaders, or the old system would be pointed out. Basically, the council would come back. Bezdin, I think it was called. Maybe we can have you on the council and have me as a representative in the Goblin Town.
I think that would be a very suitable plan of action. Although I would like to verify these claims first. Ultimately, even with these accusations, they're still just rumors that are from biased or disreputable figures at best. So, if this is to happen, there'd need to be a solid foundation of evidence in which to back it. Otherwise, we may find ourselves on the other side of the spectrum, very much being lambasted for bringing a false or spurious set of complaints towards the Countess, and I don't believe either of us would like that either.
No.
So we'll work on finding us some evidence on which to at least base our claims upon, or at least base the claims of others.
Are you good at tailing stuff or things?
I don't think he is. No, he's really not. So broker or responding kind. Not really good craftsman. Not such a good spy.
Now there are Slua. If you can find a good Slua for this job, maybe some guy can create a dirt for that guy. That's what most Sluas are there for. I would have told you to go to Mr. Whispers in Bronx. He is known as, the guy who hears whispers. But guess what? He got fucking killed.
A lot of it happening lately.
Yeah. There's another guy in Queens. His name is Torvald. He's very old. He's the father of the Lwod that you captured with Donna and Terry and some other guy. Torvald is an old man, but he may be good one or Geneve. But Geneve is a dangerous person.
I'll look into them. If
Or you
nothing
may have
else.
another friend.
Oh, pardon?
Or you may have other friends that I don't know.
Well, to their credit, I think most of my friends have earned a break for the moment. I believe all of them have been rather busy. But I'll have a look into Torvald and Geneve. If nothing else, I should have the income in order to pay them properly.
It's... Well, anything else, Mr. Edenbergs?
Well, not particularly important, but I have learned it was Holly who caused all those problems in Goblin Town to begin with. Had another Falain working for her. All the way up in Sanction.
I will inform the Baroness about this.
I'll also inform Donnie, considering he was the one who gave me this task to begin with. I suppose I should complete it for him.
He nods.
Turn in my quest, as it were. He gives kind of a slick smile.
He nods again. Well, he extends a hand. It was a pleasure talking with you, Mr. Edenbergs, but I kind of need to go back.
Of course, I wish you well. It was
Thank
a
you.
pleasure speaking with you as well.
Pleasure's all mine. He nods and he goes outside of the room at Broker. You can have any drink you want from the bar.
Oh, I thank you.
Would you like to end the scene there?
Yeah, I think we will.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, guys, for watching. See you next time.